Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Manzur Ahmad Ganai, lecturer history. Today we are going to start unit number 5 of our syllabus in history subject in 12th class. And the unit name of that unit number 5 is Agrarian Relations in the Light of Aini Akbari. Dear students, in this unit we have to talk about the agricultural and the economic structure of Mughal Empire during the time of Akbar in the light of Ain Akbari. Dear students, let me inform you that Mughal Empire was one of the greatest empires that ruled over India in medieval times. The founder of the Mughal Empire in India was Babur. He laid the foundation of Mughal Empire in 1526 AD, and the Mughal Empire remained at peak and at climax. Its power was at climax up to the death of Aurangzeb in 1707 AD. After the death of Aurangzeb, the dynasty became weaker and weaker and remained an empire only for namesake. Ultimately, the dynasty and the rule of this dynasty ended in 1857 when its last ruler, Bahadur Shah II, was imprisoned by the British. One of the greatest rulers of this dynasty of Mughal Empire was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, who ruled from 1556 to 1605 AD. About the life of Akbar, about the achievements of Akbar, about his life from birth to accession to his conquests to different administrative aspects, whatever Akbar did in his life, all things of life have been covered in a book, have been covered in a voluminous book. A voluminous history was written about Akbar's life. And that voluminous history was known as Akbarnama. And this voluminous history was written by Akbar's court historian, Akbar's pet historian, namely Abul Fazl. And this Akbarnama had three parts, was divided into three parts. The third part of the book, namely Ain Akbari, about which we have to discuss in this unit, was an important part of this book. And in this part, Abul Fazl has discussed the administrative, economic, political, and agrarian structure of the Mughal Empire under Akbar. And it is this part of the book that's Ain Akbari, about which we have to discuss in this unit. Let us start the first question of this unit. And the first question is, write a short note on Ain Akbari. Dear students, as I told you just now, Ain Akbari was a valuable book written by Akbar's court historian Abul Fazl about the Akbar's administrative, economic, agrarian, and political system. This book was completed, and it means the Ain Akbari was completed in 1598. And as I told you a few moments ago, that Ain Akbari was basically the third part of Akbarnama written by Abul Fazl. In Ain Akbari, Abul Fazl gives us detailed information about various aspects of Akbar's economic, administrative, this agricultural and administrative structure. The information given by Abul Fazl and Ain Akbari can be discussed as under. Number 1. Ain Akbari gives us detailed information of Mughal court, of Akbar's court, as to how the day-to-day business and in the court was carried out, how Akbar used to issue orders, how people used to appear before Akbar in his court, and all these details have been discussed in this. The Ain Akbari discusses about the army, gives detailed information about the army, the sources of income and revenue, the religious and the cultural traditions of Akbar's time. All these things have been discussed in detail in Ain-e-Akbari. Number one. Number two, Ain-e-Akbari gives us detailed information about all 12 provinces or sobas of Akbar's time. The area covered by each soba or province, the boundaries of each soba, the topography of each soba, topography meaning geography of each soba, has been discussed in Ain-e-Akbari in detail. Number three, the revenue system, the fiscal system of empire also has been discussed in details in Ain-e-Akbari. Number 4, we understand that the Akbar had divided his empire into provinces known as sobas. Sobas were divided into parganas. Parganas were divided. Sobas were divided into sarkars. Sarkars were divided into parganas. Parganas were divided into villages. And Akbar, this Ain-e-Akbari. Ain-e-Akbari gives us detailed information about the area covered by different provinces, the area covered by different sarkars, the area covered by different parganas. So, detailed information about the area covered by different administrative and economic divisions has been given in Ain-e-Akbari. Not only this, but also the assessed revenue. The assessed revenue from all these divisions like sobas, sarkars, parganas, the assessed revenue from all these divisions has also been given detail, has also been discussed in detail in the Ain-e-Akbari, as how much a particular pargana was going to give revenue to the state, how much revenue to the empire, how much the sarkar, a particular sarkar was going to give revenue to the empire, how much a particular pargana was going to give revenue to this empire. So all these assessed revenue and the actual revenue collected, all these details were discussed in Ain-e-Akbari. Next, the book also discusses, the Ain-e-Akbari also discusses the imperial household and its maintenance. Imperial household means what was the family of Akbar, how many family members were there, how the day-to-day business of the family used to be carried out, what the family members of Akbar used to eat, how he used to sit with his family members, how he used to behave with his family members, what were the daily doings of the family members, where family members used to travel, where Akbar used to travel with his family members. So the daily happenings, everything related to Akbar's household, Akbar's particular family, and how this all was maintained, how Akbar's family was maintained, how its status was maintained. All the things related to Akbar's household from this royal household have also been discussed in this book. Next, the another this important feature of this Ain-e-Akbari is that it also gives us information about the military and civil administration of Akbar as well. Another important point, this book also gives us short biographical sketches, means the life sketches of officials like mansabdars, several scholars, several poets and artists that were present during Akbar's time. However, despite being a valuable source of information, this Ain-e-Akbari has some limitations as well. For example, there are some errors in totaling, there are some errors in data collection as well, and some other errors as well.